I'm Sydney. And I'm Talia. Pull up a chair. You're listening to The Desk.
Oh. Hi, guys. Welcome back to The Desk. I don't know why I sang it today, but you can probably hear it. I'm stuffy. Yeah, allergies are so fun. If you struggle with allergies, I hope that you're doing well, because I'm not currently, and I don't want that for you. So, take your allergy medicine. Zyrtec, she works wonders. Anyway, hi, Talia.
Hi.
Say we're here with our fabulous, fabulous, fabulous friend. Her name is Mohar. She is the most beautiful inside and out. She's also literally one of the smartest people I know ever. She's a neurology baddie. And today we're going to be poking her brain about, all things brain, because she is genuinely the biggest brain. Hi, Mohar.
Hello. That's
How
so
are
kind.
you?
That's very kind.
Yay. How are you?
I'm okay. I am doing all right. It is approaching summer, so
Woo!
it's hot. And it's hot everywhere, even in the lab. So,
Ugh.
yeah, long days.
Any cute plans for summer?
Not really. I might go away to Scotland in the middle somewhere, but
Ooh, why Scotland?
a friend's birthday celebration. They want to do a staycation.
Ooh, in Scotland.
Yes, over a weekend. So let's see if that even happens.
Ooh, I like a lot.
What about you guys?
Babe, I don't know. It's up in the air for me.
Yeah.
I might stay here. I might go home.
Okay.
I might go home and stay here at the same time. I don't know. People are wondering. Yeah.
Okay.
I said it. Yeah. Don't think too much about it. We know you're big brain, but it's okay. Right.
Computing.
Right. I saw that. Well, I don't know. It's up in the air. Some people want me to stay. Some people want me home. Just last night, I spoke to one of my ace girls back home, and she was like, "Are you coming?"
Aww.
And I said, "So the sky is blue during the day, and the grass is green." Yeah. And she said, "Just cut the crap. Are you coming?" I was like, "I don't know." What do you mean? I don't know. Right. So
it's gonna be last minute, the decision, or it's gonna be a no. We don't know.
There are a lot of things.
Right.
There's a lot of things that have to be put in place.
She's not gonna be there.
There's a lot of things that have to be put in place before I can give a definite answer.
Okay.
Right. That's a nicer way to put it. But what about you?
What about you?
I'll be here. I'm graduating this summer, so that's fun. My family's coming, so that'll also be exciting. Then a couple of festivals, fun stuff. Afro Nation, which is like,
oh my gosh, yeah,
partially my grad gift to myself, partially like my birthday present to myself. Like, it's a lot going on. But Afro Nation.
That sounds
Mind
so
you guys,
fun.
her birthday is in January.
Y'all don't want to do nothing in January. Listen, when you were born like 11 days after the new year, 20 days after Christmas, pockets are tight.
Absolutely.
And I am aware of this. I've lived this life my whole life. For anybody who's born around the Christmas period, you know what I'm talking about. You know how it is. So I really only have that one time a year to be celebrating. So sometimes I'm like, okay, I don't want to be asking people to be doing crazy stuff because my pocket's tight. I know your pocket's tight. So I'm like, okay, cool. Afro Nation, I wanted to go since I was a pick-me. I don't know. I was young. I wanted to do Afro Nation. And the fact that we're going this year is like genuinely a dream come true. My God is good. So I'm like, okay, cool.
I love
Why
that.
not? Why not make that my big fat birthday celebration and have everybody just and have fun, and it's gonna be fun anyway. So that and work. Gotta make this money, man.
Of course.
Gotta make this money. So that's my summer.
That sounds so fun.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So I guess we should be serious now. But are we ever
do we
really
have
that
to be?
serious? Right. Are we
Do we
ever
have
really
to
that
be?
serious? Tell us a bit about how you got into neurology. Tell us a bit about you. All the things.
So, how did I end up here? So, obviously, my goal wasn't always defined as going into neuroscience, neurochemistry, neurology. Like, it's a pretty vague way to put it, because the PhD that I'm doing is quite specific.
Yeah.
And it's specific to metabolism in the brain. So then what do you define that under?
Yeah.
So I could backtrack and say that my undergrad was in biochemistry, and then my master's was in cancer and molecular biology. And I kind of just, using the skills that I learned from those two, the undergrad and the master's, I looked for PhDs based in biochem somewhat. Originally, I was looking at master's PhDs in cancer PhDs, but then I ended up going for metabolism instead, because it was just what was the most interesting subject that was out at the time as a project. And yeah, just gave really cool new skills. And that's one of the things you really have to look for during a PhD is what skills can you learn?
Okay, that's so great. I'm really excited for you to explain in layman terms what your research is like for the people who aren't like us, who don't have a background in science.
I will do
Like,
my very most
for your
utmost.
5-year-old niece or nephew type thing.
Sure. Yeah.
If you had any. Because you don't. Because you're an early child.
This is true. This is just, there's so much shade towards only children. It's crazy. I swear.
As a previous only child for like a hot period of time.
I was an only child for 4 years.
No, I get it.
I was only a child. I was an only child for 4 years.
When you're 4, you don't know nothing. I was 7. I had
y'all need to learn.
feelings.
You need to learn how to share.
Having a sibling is absolutely phenomenal. Being an only child is also phenomenal.
I can imagine.
No.
Justice for the
You, the universe. You, the universe. No.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kidding. We have sisters now. Us.
I know. And I'm very grateful.
Yeah.
I am. Genuinely.
Right. So don't worry. When she has a kid, obviously you'll have nieces and nephews.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. I love how she's first. Okay. So, am I explaining my research in layman terms? Okay. All right. So, there's that popular fact that people always like to quote off, which is that the brain uses 20% of total energy consumed, whilst only weighing 2% of your body weight, right? So it's a very, very energy heavy organ. And so in my field of research, my topic looks at drug-resistant epilepsy patients and how these certain types of dietary fats can be used to help reduce their seizures, right? Now, during epilepsy, what happens is you have a disruption of energy to the brain. The brain can't utilize the energy efficiently, as in, non-epileptic, normal patients. And they end up misutilizing the glucose that comes in through their normal diets. So what my research group and a lot of other research groups have done is they've put forward this theory that if you were to supply the brain with an alternative fuel, maybe they can perhaps manage utilizing that fuel better. And so instead of having aberrant energy production, which is why you get the seizures, you can have a more controlled energy flow in the brain, which helps to keep control of the seizures happening in the neurons. And so this is where I look at medium chain triglycerides, which is a type of fat found in things like coconut oil, amongst other foods. And they use this specific type of fat because it can cross the blood-brain barrier, which is the thing that separates your brain from the rest of the body, essentially, a lot of things from filtering up there. So these fats can actually get through that barrier and then become metabolized in the brain, so it can actually be used. And there have been clinical trials that have shown that this has been very helpful in reducing seizures and sometimes even alleviating seizures completely, which is fantastic. But it is a bit of a hit and miss because it's still very much new research. Not enough is known about exactly how epilepsy works in the first place. So the fundamentals still need to be completely researched, and now we're still building on things that we can do to try and help manage this problem as best as we can. There's another thing with these patients is they don't respond to epilepsy drugs. So this is their Hail Mary.
Right.
This is the last option they have now, where perhaps controlling their diets can help them to have somewhat of a normal life and just increase their quality of life.
I love that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm a neurology junkie, so I'm already like, so the more that you're talking about this, the more excited I am. But I guess to remove the whole sciencey aspect, what draws you into it? Like, what's your personal connection or draw to, whether it's biochem or the neurology side of it? What is your investment for it?
I think for me, knowing that there's a lot of, so I've been to these conferences that they usually take you on, where I get to present my research. And at these conferences, they have a lot of times patients with families. Patient families come in who have responded well to the MCT diet that's available. And they get to go up on the podium sometimes and speak on it as well. Like at the recent conference I went to in Paris, it was huge, and loads of people came from all over the world, like loads of people doing research, and the families as well that have benefited from this research, and they give their testimonies. And I think that kind of solidified, because it was really early on in the journey as well, that why this is so important, because you see them going from not being able to drive, walk, speak, eat, talk, just do basic stuff, to now perhaps being a teenager that can actually go out and have fun with their friends, who can think about a life, a future. And it helps the families as well, because they have an immense burden of care to make sure that their children or their family members are okay. So that was one thing recently that really solidified it.
Yeah.
But I think originally going into it was my love for science and just the fundamental, why does this happen? Why does that happen? So yeah.
No, that makes perfect sense. I think every doctor has that draw. And I feel like
Yeah.
it's not easy, I think, to go into research without having some kind of human connection. So I was curious to hear it. And I can imagine that speaking to people who have like benefited from the things that you're researching has to be such a nice feeling. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like just such a good
And also,
motivation.
you just sort of get sucked. Like me being in the lab all day, every day, you don't think about these things. This is like the one big opportunity to actually see it in action,
Right.
what you're doing. Even though you are a teeny tiny little cog in the huge mechanism, in the huge engine, you know that without you and without all these separate cogs, it's never going to end up in the patient's hands, whatever it is that you're researching or working on. So yeah, you could lose sight of that, but this helps.
Do you think the public understands the impact of research that you're doing or others are doing?
General public?
Yeah.
Probably not. And I say this without judgment in the slightest way, because I think it's very human to not be so concerned about abstract risk that doesn't in any way, shape, or form affect you. It's great to hear about it on social media or see it happen to family members or friends, is when it actually impacts you. And that's when you're more likely as the general public to like do your research, do your due diligence, and start reading. But I understand that's really hard. It is hard. And that's another barrier as to why they won't go out of their way to kind of see what's going on in the research field, or see how this research, my research specifically, would ever impact them in any way.
Sure.
Yeah.
And is that like an accessibility issue in terms of like us not having those conversations as a society? Or is it something that's like a healthcare thing? Whether that's going to your doctor and having the conversations of like, yes, brain health is important and uterine health is important and all these different things that maybe we prioritize rather than also being kind of well-rounded.
I think it's definitely a mixture of what you're saying. I think it is 100% an accessibility thing to start off with. Because essentially what you're dealing with is these research get published in journals that are locked behind a paywall, right? And it's only accessible through institution affiliation. So, first of all, the general public cannot access these journals where the bulk of scientific literature exists. And then the second layer to this is that the language with which these journals are written and these scientific papers are published in are very hard, very jargon-based, and it takes years to even get to the point where you can kind of start to digest what they're saying in these scientific pieces of writing. Like, to me, it's this stage where I'm now starting to sort of put it all together, dissect and digest. So nobody has time for that.
We're thankful that you're taking the time for us and teaching it to us as if we were children.
I
But
hope
this
I
is
do it well.
so, girl.
No, there are social
Please.
media influencers who are in science who do it so well.
You should become one then.
I wish.
Any
Yeah.
recommendations?
Yes, actually. Have you guys heard? I hope I get her name right, but it's like Vera Squared. She's a mathematics PhD, and she also has her own podcast where she does like The Rest is Science. That's what it's called, in collaboration with another big scientist who I've forgotten his name. But they do such interesting topics, and she does it in such a way that's so accessible for everyone. She'll talk about the most random scientific things, and she'll be like, "Did you guys know?" And she'll just go off on it, and it's so easy to digest. And it's relevant to you in some way.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm sorry. Listen, right? This is Sydney's forte. Listen, she likes neuroscience. I like obstetricia gynecology. Like, so I'm over here learning from like, oh my gosh, teachers talking. She's like, no, you're not getting it. And I'm like, but I am. Teacher's talking. Teacher, I'm loving it. This is a wonderful lecture. She's like, no. But why is the sky blue right now? Like, type thing. So I'm over here like, this is so great. And so I was like, oh, I don't need it. I literally, in my head, I was like, okay, maybe I don't need to talk in this. Maybe I'm just here for moral support. Because the way I was like, oh, gosh.
Wonderful moral support, I must say.
I'm here for you, babe. You've got this.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I was a little nervous.
Don't be nervous.
Why?
I just didn't want to talk the whole time. So I was like, you got a question? You got something to say? Like,
no, I was listening. Listen, I wanted to take notes. I was like, you know what? Maybe I should
write this down.
Like,
girl, bye.
But you already want to though, right? Because you want to go into.
I want to go back. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that for you. I'm a huge advocate of people like just pursuing as many different streams of education or whatever.
When I was a kid, my mom said, right, don't be a professional student. And I fear it's her fault, obviously. But I fear that I'm becoming a professional student. So
I get it. I mean, I think after a certain point, you can definitely work and do things part-time on the side.
I agree.
If learning is a passion, keep it. Because
you should always be learning, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
You know, I do think we have this kind of idea in our heads that learning is specific to school and specific to a degree or academics and like only walking down that path. Whereas, like you said, as you grow, go to the different places and do the different things and do it part-time.
Yeah. So, I don't want to get too much into it, but you've taken a break. Right.
Yeah.
So you've taken a break from your research.
Yeah.
Just break.
Yeah.
I'll make it easy.
What a debate. I was like, this is like comedy song.
Wow. I didn't mean it like that. I was just saying, you took a pause.
That's the best.
Right.
It's genius.
I took a break. I did the mother thing. She didn't do the mother thing. It wasn't mother. I mean, she's always been mother, but not that kind of mother.
I'm gonna lose the question. You took a pause. How is it coming back to the lab, to those stressful nights? How has your progress been?
Goodness. So for the people that don't know, I broke my ankle.
I found it out.
No, I feel like it gives context. But yes, I took a break for about 2 months, and it wasn't a full break though, because I was still working from home. So what I was doing at home was writing up my thesis chapters that I could be doing sat down, rather than, because the thing with being back in the lab is, and I know you guys know this because I've told you guys so many times, because I am just, if I'm back in the lab full time, it's morning till evening, and then come home, gym, eat, sleep, repeat. And then very little time is left to actually do the writing and the sit down and the process information, do the analysis, right, of the data that you're actually getting from the lab. So actually having those 2-month gap was actually very beneficial for me. Coming back, I'm kind of alternating my days where I'm doing 1 day in the lab, 1 day at home, working from home. And to be honest, right now, I haven't felt the full force of it yet. I think, once this ankle gets properly healed back up and I'm back in the lab regularly, I think I will change how I work a little bit, because I think before it was leading to, I don't want to say burnout, because I know some people have it worse. I know, like, it happens.
The Lord told you stop. Like he said, halt. Like
I bid thee stop.
In like 3 places.
Right.
In 3.
He said you probably not gonna hear it. You're not gonna hear it if I don't do this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Get that the other way. Please, there's a gospel song that's called Gracefully Broken, and basically the artist, before she goes into the song, she does one of those little talks before the song, and she's like, sometimes when God wants to position you, he has to break you. And the way that we're talking about this is literally that.
Right.
Like the way she says, he just has to break you. Ooh. And she casts the spirit and all the stuff, but like genuinely.
Literally.
It's literally like you had that opportunity to just kind of sit back for a second and be like, okay, wait.
Yeah.
I've been doing stuff. Like, let me write that down. Let me write that down.
Because I think another thing that was so funny was when I was on my calls with my supervisor, they were like, oh, what do you think is the reason behind this? And I was like, well, I think it's this. And they were like, oh my gosh, wow, you're doing really well in being able to like come back with, theories and, utilize the biochemical knowledge and like flex it in a way, basically, which is what you're supposed to be doing. And I was like, yeah, I couldn't before because I was so tired. Right. Because I was in the lab getting the data. And he was like, oh, so maybe you do need to sit down and not be in the lab all the time. I'm like,
you're getting it.
Yes.
You're getting it.
Please let me. So, yeah.
That's a perfect segue into like the whole goal that we're trying to tackle today in terms of like well-being and rest and like getting that good access to a good, healthy work life, but also just like life balance. How do you feel like that schedule is going to look for you now that you've been able to see not only the benefits but also the downsides of like how you were working before and what's working, what's not working, all those things?
Yeah, I think before, obviously, I was very geared towards getting the data out of the experiments I was doing. I need to do the experiments because sometimes things don't work. Sometimes I need to just repeat it. Sometimes I just need to get it done. But I think if I had a day to sit and just even just 1 day, to just sit and think about, okay, why didn't this work? What could I have done differently? And is there something I'm missing? Maybe there's some literature already out on this. I think we're expected to do a lot at this level. We're expected to juggle all of it simultaneously almost, because time is short and funding is short. You have a certain amount of time within which to get your research done and get your thesis done, and then you're out, pretty much. So to try and get all of that done for an entire PhD thesis, it is a lot of grafting to get it done. But as my supervisor actually did say on those calls, he was like, look, we're going for quality over an efficiency of using your time rather than just using your time up.
Quantity.
Right.
Using it wisely.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's going to look different. Hopefully I can be a bit more, because I think there's a little bit of imposter syndrome as well still at this stage, where it's way less than it was at the beginning. But I think I'm still like, oh, I'm a rookie. I need to keep working hard and just generate the data, and I'll figure out why this looks the way it does later, right? Before I next meet with my supervisors. Whereas now I feel like I've developed a bit of agency, especially since this break, to be like, no, I actually need to sit down and read and take some time out of the lab to formulate my thoughts before I go into these meetings. So I'm not just floundering around thinking, why didn't this work? No, I have a reason why I think this didn't work, or it did work because of this.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's going to look a little bit different, which thank God.
This podcast is brought to you by Kalamolo, where culture and class meet couture.
And even that imposter syndrome that you were talking about, does that have a lot to do, again, you did mention it's because you feel like you're a rookie, but does that also have anything to do with the fact that you're a woman in a very male-dominated field, and especially in neuroscience, where I think there is room for women, and there definitely has been plenty of people who are women and are really prominent in the field, but it is still a male-dominated industry, medicine. So how does that play into that kind of imposter syndrome?
I think for me, I'm lucky enough that I'm always actually surrounded by women in STEM. All my friends have always been mostly women in STEM. And to be honest, in life sciences, you do see an overabundance of women. Like, you see more women now than ever before.
Yes.
And I want to fact check this, but I think it's more women than men now going into
right?
life sciences and getting a degree in life sciences. So on that note, it's fantastic. I think with imposter syndrome, it's a broad thing, because perfectionism is a huge thing, which leads to that. And coming from like an Asian background, I think a lot of people can relate to always needing to be good grades wise, but you need to perform, you need to exceed, right? So when you don't, or you falter, which is completely natural, and it's natural, but you just can't take it, you can't accept it.
Right. It's hard to compute.
Exactly. And so I think that manifests in the worst way possible, which is through imposter syndrome, where if you just accept that, okay, it's hard because it's new, it's difficult, but it won't be always. And if I give up now, I'll definitely never succeed. Those things are much harder to internalize, but they will help so much more in getting over the imposter syndrome.
Right. Do you... No. What advice would you give to girls interested in science that feel intimidated by it, like as someone who works in STEM?
I think intimidated by it can only mean, from what I understand, is like, do they think they're not good enough, or do they think they lack the qualifications for it? Something like that. Then I would say those are they're not easy psychological fixes, but they're easy enough fixes where you absolutely are, by any stretch of the imaginations, more than able to go into a STEM degree. I think for girls in particular, this is going to go into such a ramble about social, economic, and political barriers that women face.
Let it. Go ahead. The floor is all yours. Go ahead, Vicky.
I think, there's a lot of things that play into women going into research, right? And I'm talking just straight academic research route here. It used to be something that was only available to the elite, right? To the elite few, people who were very privileged, who had enough money to, and had the backing and the resources to be able to pursue a life where you are working for very low financial return, and still you're getting a huge amount of gain in terms of research output, publications, sort of notoriety within the research field. Those are the gains that you're really making in academia. And, because if you think about it, if you want to do, like, say, for example, develop a new drug, that's a 15 to 20 year process, right? So that's in a quick turnaround for gains. So for women in particular, you know, we do face like the biological clock. So if you are thinking of going into research, you have to keep in mind it has to mesh well with your personal life. Men don't face that as much because they don't have to take a maternity leave and stop what they're doing. They can take their paternity leave and help, but they're in a position far
Please,
better
men,
to
help.
Huh?
Please, men, help.
Yes,
She is carrying
absolutely.
your child. She gave birth to your child. Please help her.
Yes, help her.
Signed, a future midwife.
Absolutely, yes. Like, and there are good men who do that, absolutely. But I think for a woman to succeed in a career that gives very little return initially, it is a struggle, and they have to be fully aware what they're going into. And I don't think the infrastructure is set up very well to accommodate them as of yet. So it is still a graft. Like, I know I'm in a privileged position where my parents can help me. They can help me out by making sure I have food, making sure that I can get around. I live in a different city to my parents. A lot of people don't have that help. They have to either work second jobs because you don't get paid a lot during a PhD. They have to work long hours. They have to travel further because they live further away because rent's cheaper there. Right. So there's just so many things that could be such a big barrier to just getting your foot through the door and just succeeding in this. And it is turning into, again, a bit of a elitism thing where only the elite will be able to do research because it's so, you know, hard to get into. And I don't just mean hard like academically, but also financially, socially, and all the responsibilities you have to fulfill at home. So what was the original question?
You're answering it.
Okay.
Yeah. The little girls who see you and say, oh my gosh, I want to be like her. Right.
They should. They don't need to be like me. They should just take inspiration and do it their own way.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Of course.
I love that.
Two completely different reactions.
From who?
Her and I, she went, oh, that's so sweet. I said,
Huh?
It's true, though.
It's true. I think that's another place where imposter syndrome can breed.
I agree.
Because I think growing up, like, not to shade my mom, she's like my best friend, but she was always like, why can't you be like that kid? She's so smart. And I'm like, okay.
My bad. Oh.
But I think, you know, what we'll do differently in our generation, or at least I'll try, is I'll never say don't be like her. Just be like, hey, you see how she's, you know, working hard? Emulate that. Work hard. But don't be like her.
Right. True.
There's no need to say that.
Idolatry is a crazy place to be. So, and genuinely, that's how
people idolize a lot
Mm-hmm.
on their dates.
Mm-hmm.
But I really loved your answer. Well,
Thanks.
yes.
Right.
Like, yes, girls can do everything. Like,
They really can.
Girl power.
They really can.
Yeah.
And as soon as women started taking agency over their own lives nowadays, even more, the world's opened up. Obviously, structurally, you have so many battles in front of you.
Right.
But if you know the option is there, but even though it's going to be a grueling ride, you're more likely to even consider it.
Right.
Whereas before, you wouldn't even consider it.
Right.
So.
Wow, that's why you're studying your PhD.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
great.
yeah, kind of.
You're so smart.
Hashtag
Thanks, you
changing the
guys.
world. Has this PhD changed anything about your perception of yourself?
It's changed a lot, to be honest. I think I've noticed from first year PhD me to third year PhD me, which is my penultimate year, it's been a hell of a ride. I think the first thing that I changed about my mentality was, first of all, academically. You're going from bachelor's and master's, which is kind of, you have a syllabus, you work towards that syllabus, you have guidance, and you have someone telling you, you have these lectures then, these are your assignments, you have to just do these, and you get your degree, and it's all laid out, so to say. You just have to put in that hard work to get to those goal posts, right? Whereas I was looking for that at a PhD level and I didn't find it. And that caused a lot of anxiety at the beginning, which no one really tells you about. I mean, they warn you about it, but when you're thrown into it, it's completely different, where there's no structure. There's no one telling you this is your next step, or, you know, you need to do this now. It's sort of, you have the entirety of the scientific literature in that field. You're sort of awash on a piece of driftwood trying to figure out where to start. And through that sort of fumbling along, you kind of step in a way where you're like, okay, this is what I need to do. It is very much you fumble along. Now, if you have good supervisors, they will direct you in the right sort of way. If you don't, you're going to have to find mentors, and hopefully you do, because it's very, very crucial at this point that someone leads you down a good path rather than you chasing rabbit holes that lead to dead ends. So that changed a lot from sort of directed study to self-directed study. Yeah. And researchers also have to think differently in that your answer might not actually be out there. You are actually making the answers now.
Yeah.
Like, you might want to say, like, in your subject area, oh, I wonder what this is. Someone's already done it. It's in the textbook. It's somewhere. You can find it. Whereas for me, I could be like, I wonder if anyone's tried this before. I look it up. Maybe one paper has. Mm-hmm. And they did it not even in the same way I'm thinking. They did it in something adjacent. So now you have to adapt it and figure out if this could work for you, which is fantastic if you're that kind of person who loves that experimentation, which is me. I love it. But it is anxiety inducing. Like, PhD is not for someone who needs a little bit of structure, because you need to put that structure in place for yourself.
Right.
You have to be completely yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was saying yes because my aunt, almost like a year ago now, she was like, you wanted to do neuroscience and then you switched to fashion, and you can definitely combine the two. And you could probably create a PhD out of it.
You could.
And she was like, da 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 da. And I was looking at her like, wow, she's so lucky I love her. I'm like, what? I ain't doing that.
That's
PhD,
cool.
it is fun. Like, there's very much
should.
the consumer psychology part of it. Fashion
Right.
psychology is also very interesting to me. Like, the whole ethos and the science behind why it is that we actually look at, cool, you're wearing pink right now. What made that pink stand out to you, whereas that pink might not stand out to me or her or homeboy over there? And a lot of it has to do with, again, how you're brought up, and then how your brain actually associates different colors to different emotions. So obviously we usually associate yellow with happiness because of the sun, because of just the brightness of the color. But even as you go across the color wheel and you go through different bright colors, it's like not all of those colors would still be associated with positive responses for different people due to sociology, psychologically, all these different things. And so that part of it is quite interesting to me. And I almost wrote my dissertation on that, and like why people actually look at buying the things that they buy according to not even just social cues and some of that stuff, but your brain. Like, why are you actually interested in this? But listening to you say all this stuff is like, yes, I could organize it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will say, I think it would be fantastic to read as a thesis if you were to do it. I would read it 100%.
Thanks.
You just, I think, as not a warning, but more of a just keep in mind that it's going to be 3 to 4 long years. And just keep the motivation somehow there. And I think you will. I think you will. If you do decide to go down that route.
In one life, hopefully.
Maybe.
I need that break. Ready for this.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I never used to think like that.
Right.
I would rather continue to study than actually work, but that's neither here nor there.
I want money now.
I gotta find a way to get this money back tomorrow.
That's when we get diabetic sugar daddies. Anyways, splendid daddies, if you will. Because we don't do none of that stuff, but we do need some cash. Huh?
I love it.
So my question to you would be, what keeps you motivated during those difficult stages of your research when you feel feel like you can't get out of that dark hole.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. Those days. I think it's not one major thing. It's more like many small things, like for example, if experiment wasn't working, suddenly there's one piece that's been resolved of why it's not working. Or maybe you talk to your colleagues or your supervisor or your friends who sort of reframe the problem in a way that now feels a bit more solvable. Right. These small things, and for example, you guys keeping me accountable to the gym before the break. But, you know, like
calling it
that.
the break.
I'm
The
sorry.
break.
Like, this is so funny. You have
The break.
a pause.
It was a break.
The break.
The break.
It will forever now be known as the break. Thanks, guys. You heard it here first. Sorry.
But there was so many good things that happened to you
Yeah.
during the break.
Yeah, the break TM.
In your timeline of life, when we write your memoir, there will be a chapter called The Break. And everything happened after the break.
Mhm.
That's true. We'll be back after
The break.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is how you should start your social media series. The Break.
The break.
But I just wanted to say
Right. Actually, I agree.
before she answers that question, I just want to say that during the break, Mohar seemingly lost her phone, and she had people very worried about her. And it was like sending pigeons during a war-stricken area with arrows and guns and bazookas. And that pigeon almost died a couple of times. And then the wind was really strong. Guys, I'm talking about, there wasn't even like modern day ship a ladder type thing. There was like a snail, not even a pigeon, a snail. You attached your ladder to a snail and hoping
That's crazy.
Hoping for her
so
to
outed right now.
answer.
I really do respond very slowly sometimes when I'm at home because I just don't need to look at my phone.
Guys, she had us worried. She had
So
us
sorry.
worried during the break. Didn't tell us anything afterwards. There was just gone. And I said, oh, are we... I was questioning our friendship.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I was questioning our friendship. I was like, I don't
She
think
doesn't
she
love
likes
me.
me. You know, I was like... And mind
I
you,
am terrible. I am
mind you,
sorry.
no one in this room is like, you have to message me within 2 seconds of when I sent you that message. No,
Yeah.
none of us.
Yeah.
But she took weeks,
I deserve this.
weeks
I do. I really do. I
to
did do
answer
this.
one simple message.
I
Hey, are
did.
you okay?
I did, yeah.
No, actually.
Weeks.
Sorry, the weeks part is fine. Yeah.
I'm so sorry, you guys.
I thought she died. I was like, what happened?
She's alive.
I am.
Surprise.
This isn't a seance. This is very much a real...
Literally, there was no occult activity
Yeah,
performed
no.
in the making
We
of
reject
this
that.
podcast episode.
Anyways, but we still love her. We forgive her.
Thank God. Thank God.
We-
Because I am a flawed woman. I accept that. I'm so sorry. Yeah. But yeah.
Anywho, where were we?
The question that you
The question was, what do you do to bring your mood up during those dark times?
Yeah, so it's, I mean, recently being end of last year, I got into the gym with you guys. So saving grace, to be honest. And I think with the nature of a PhD or any high stress job, I would say there is a tendency to fall down dark holes, and particularly into like addiction territory. I've seen it happen. I've seen other PhD students require antidepressants as well, because it's, oh my gosh, do you guys want to hear about this great paper I read?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There was this paper that was released in 2025, I think, where I really should have done the research on this, got the names and everything, but there was a graph that was pinnacle, that was like the main focus of this research, and it showed along the x-axis, the number of years from starting something. And on the y-axis, it was how likely you are to access psychiatric medication, right? And you see this curve of a line just as the years go by spike up suddenly at around year 3 to about 40% chance of needing to access psychiatric medication. And everyone was guessing what it was for. And it's because from the start of your PhD of how likely you are to need to access psychiatric medication, which was insane to think about.
40%.
Right. And then there's a sharp drop off afterwards as well. But the fact that it's so, like, people don't think about these things because they're like, oh, research, yeah, it happens. There's just so much going on when you're doing the research, such as a lack of clarity, lack of direction, future planning. You're sort of just doing the best you can right now.
Yeah.
And planning for what's going to come next. And I just thought it was a really interesting paper that kind of highlights the lack of mental health awareness in academia, really. And yeah, for me, I think the gym really helped. That's my main thing now, is the gym, and also giving into my hobbies a little bit. I love art, so I do that on the side. I don't get to do it as much during busy periods, but I always make time for the gym if I can. Especially week by week, I will definitely be going. So that was something that really changed it for me, because it was just a natural antidepressant. And it really did help. So
Yes.
but if anyone's struggling, please do get help.
We do condone therapy here.
We do,
We
absolutely.
really do. And prayer.
Yes, and that, yeah.
This was brought by non-medical professionals, so please do talk to your doctor
Yes.
if you are feeling lonely, have thoughts of depression or suicide. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Wow, look at you suddenly being PR trained. Wow, I'm proud.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't really care to be PR trained.
I love it.
She be arguing with y'all in the comments.
No, I don't. She's lying. She's lying.
She do.
First of all, there's not enough people to comment, so
I'm gonna
See, she
start
don't even care
circulating
about y'all.
this.
I do.
I love
I don't
you.
argue with y'all in the comments.
I don't
That's 'cause
argue.
I see y'all.
Listen,
I got love for you.
Mohizzy.
Yeah.
She stresses me out every damn time.
Do you see how relaxed I am for her to
She's
be
so
stressed
relaxed,
out?
yeah.
What?
That must stress me out. Anyhow. So, Mohar.
Yes.
How do you hope your work contributes to the world long term?
So, I hesitate to. Oh. So, I hesitate to say my work in particular has some grandiose effect. We would love to think that, and I hope it does to some extent. But rather than oversell one individual project, I think the research that I've found recently by talking to people in other research groups, by going to these conferences, and just by having interactions with different research groups in UCL, like, yeah, so by talking to all these other people, I sort of realized how interdisciplinary science is. You really start understanding that and really like getting a feel for that whatever you're working on can absolutely be applied to a different project that's working on some different part of the brain.
Yeah.
Right. Whether it's just using the machinery to analyze certain things, you can add to that project and it has nothing to do with you. It's so interdisciplinary that I hope that my work in some way helps to provide a little bit more light in how metabolic interventions can be an alternative way of treating a lot of mental disorders, a lot of diseases, whether they're metabolic diseases or not. Like, in some way, metabolism impacts a lot of things. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
This is me geeking out. But I feel like I read something a couple months ago, if not a year ago, about how it's actually a really big factor in things like dementia and Alzheimer's disease as well, and Parkinson's. And I was like on a rabbit hole.
Yeah, isn't
Absolutely.
that sugar in the brain?
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. It's all about energy expenditure in the brain. Like the brain the brain doesn't store fat. You know how we store fat and everywhere else in our body? The brain can. So the brain needs that constant supply of energy and it can't be disrupted. As soon as it gets disrupted or it's somehow lacking because you've got some kind of mutation, something is missing, something is going wrong, instantly things start to malfunction. It's detrimental.
Right.
And so this area of research is important because it just puts pieces into such a wider context. If you've ever looked at a metabolic map, there are these, like KEGG, I think, is one of the websites that a lot of researchers and a lot of science students use. You look at the metabolism map in the human body, it literally looks more convoluted than the London Tube map, right?
Right.
Yeah. It looks like that. That's what it would remind you of, but like on a bigger scale. And all of that is happening in each individual cell all over the body.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Right. So if you can somehow shed a little bit more light on how one part is working, it can open up a whole huge double door entry into another area, which can lead to another cure or lead to another advancement. And ultimately, you just work together. And that's what I hope my research helps with. Yeah.
Okay. Go read her research.
When it's out.
Yeah, but like prepare yourself. So start researching now. And then when that one comes out, have yourself ready. Because I'll be reading it. And if you're not reading it, that's awkward. Like that's really
To be honest, it would be hard to digest. So I if anyone has
Read it
questions,
anyway.
just ask me.
Read it anyway.
She said, if you have any questions, I would surely do one-on-one to explain it. That's not a problem because you won't understand it like I understand it.
No, that's
She said,
low key, maybe, but that's actually a hindrance to other people than to me, in the sense that they don't need to understand it,
Right.
but they should know about it. And why would they slave away their life to having the skills to understand it when I can just tell them
Right.
and they have access to that information?
basically follow her on Instagram. She's about to start making content. Thanks. All right, wrapping up, I think. You have another question, sweetie?
No, I think that although I love healthcare and science, this was not my episode, guys. This was not for me. We brought Mohar specifically for Sydney to geek out, but I will say I have learned so much, and I'm so thankful because I've always wondered, what exactly did you do? So I'm no, guys, no, stop.
I get it.
No, the both of you are laughing. No, obviously I knew that she was researching. Yeah, she always used to say was, "Oh yeah, I'm just researching for my PhD. I'm doing research for my PhD." That was it. I was like, okay, so what's your degree? Oh, I'm just researching for my PhD. Just researching for my PhD. It's like, okay. Do you wanna maybe come on the podcast? She was like, yeah. What should I talk about? Your PhD and your research. She was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So now I'm here and I'm like, oh my gosh, I would be interested in something like this.
Yeah.
I just took a seat back because obviously you were here for Sydney to learn and to talk and geek out with, but me, you've just inspired me in a different way. So not necessarily a question, but very much so a comment on what you've done. Anything else?
I mean, I was going to say, I think it's so great that you guys do podcasts, and you guys are very creative in the way that you disseminate information and get ideas out into the world, which I don't think a lot of scientists do, to be honest. Science communication is a real lacking.
It's actually terrible.
It's really lacking.
As a marketer, we got to do better.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Like, we actually have to do better.
Yeah. So I think these kind of things, these podcasts, these infomercials, or these bite-sized projects, I don't know, advertisements or whatever it is that people do, like on social media, the science communicators on there, these things that everyone's doing, this is the real stuff that kind of pushes the needle with the more people being involved.
So are you gonna be like Bill Nye?
I would love to. I would actually love to.
On that note, guys, bye. Love you guys so much. Thanks for pulling up a chair to the desk. Mohar, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for
We
having
love
me.
having you. We love speaking to you. We're going to speak more, but you guys don't get to hear that. So bye.
Guys, see, she doesn't love you like I love you.
She actually deletes your comments.
I don't know why she says that. But yes, again, Mohizi,
Yes.
love ya.
Love
So
you
glad that
too.
you're back from your break.
My break.
Yeah. Again, I couldn't close out any better than Sydney, but I will say, keep on doing what you're doing. There is a place for it, and it is making a difference. And we are just so happy that you took the time out to talk to us about it, because I have heard that, explaining things to people who have no background about your work actually helps you.
It does.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy that you were able to just talk to us.
Thank you guys
Thank
for
you
having me.
again. Bye.
Bye.